Theodore Roosevelt hunted and collected thousands of animals. He also saved more wildlife habitat than any American president before or since. This apparent paradox must be examined in the context of conservation today. Born into privilege, Roosevelt was a sickly and fragile child. Through discipline, hardship, and immersion in wild places, he overcame his challenges. He made no excuses. For him, hunting was not an escape. It was a framework for how he understood order, control, and responsibility. This became a blueprint for his presidency. At the time, wildlife collapse in the United States was driven by uncontrolled killing and commercial exploitation. His response was order, rules, boundaries, enforcement. He did not act out of sentiment. Roosevelt's argument was utilitarian. Wildlife and wild places were national resources. Left unprotected, they would be destroyed by commercial exploitation. He had witnessed it. Bison were nearly exterminated. Passenger pigeons were hurtling toward extinction. Forests were stripped bare by logging companies. Roosevelt understood that without legal protection and government enforcement, market forces would consume everything. He built institutions. The U.S. Forest Service was strengthened. The Antiquities Act was passed. The framework of federal land management was established. He gave conservation the power of law. During his presidency, from 1901 to 1909, Theodore Roosevelt proclaimed 230 million acres of public land as protected. This included national forests covering 150 million acres, 18 national monuments, including the Grand Canyon, 51 federal bird reserves, and 4 national game preserves, forming the foundation of the National Wildlife Refuge System, 5 national parks. This protected public land amounted to an area larger than Texas and California combined. Roosevelt left the presidency in March 1909 and departed for Africa, leading the Smithsonian Roosevelt African Expedition. The specimens collected provided a time machine-like snapshot of regional biodiversity before widespread ecological change. Although Roosevelt encountered abundant game on his safari, he feared that Africa's wildlife would suffer the same collapse he had witnessed in the United States if there was no formal protection. Through his writings, Global Stature, and the success of American conservation policy, his ideas reinforced a Western model of protected game reserves that was already taking hold across colonial Africa. His concerns were understandable, but Africa's reality was different. This model of strict protection assumed an empty wilderness. In truth, these landscapes were already inhabited, grazed, cultivated, and shaped by local people through seasonal movement, livestock management, and crop protection practiced over generations. Yet the same strict approach was followed. Land was set aside, boundaries were drawn, people were excluded. Protection came first, without consent or inclusion. The fortress conservation model that followed criminalized survival. Farmers became trespassers, herders became threats. Traditional land use became illegal. For Africans, the message was clear. The wildlife was no longer theirs. This legacy endures. Today's rangers must absorb the tension between wildlife, politics, poverty, and violence. Theodore Roosevelt did not intend this outcome. But intention does not erase impact. His legacy forces an uncomfortable truth. Conservation cannot be copied and pasted across continents. Africa demands solutions rooted in lived reality, not imported ideals. Conservation in Africa is still being ordained by countless international conferences and foreign forces hell-bent on imposing a preservationist viewpoint. Animal rights before people. Roosevelt was both a hunter and a conservationist, one and the same. His worldview changed the face of conservation. Were he alive today, his defining trait would likely still be pragmatism. He would probably embrace the concept of sustainable use of natural resources. Conservation policies must adapt and evolve. Rigid preservation alone will not ensure the long-term survival of wild places.